Hello guys and welcome to our new math session. Today we are just going to correct our homework about travel graph, patterns and functions. So let's start with the time graph. It's going to be workbook page 71. So here's the first question. The distance time graph shows information about Haroon's car journey. Find how far he has traveled after 30 minutes. So 30 minutes it means it's half an hour, and here it's the time in hours. So I will get the distance in half an hour. It's gonna be here in the middle between 0 and 1, and draw a line and just intersect with the y-axis, which is the distance in kilometers. So it's a number between 0 and 50. Yes, exactly. It's 25 kilometers. Double I here, it's 2.5 hours. So I will go between like 2 and 3. It's gonna be 2.5. I will draw a line and then go to intersect with the y-axis, which is the distance. It's gonna be 100 kilometers. Number B here, he's saying that find Haroon's average speed during the first hour. So if you remember that the average speed is the total distance over total time. So the first hour here is gonna be, I will check the distance covered in the first hour. So the first hour here it's finished, it's 50 kilometers over 1 hour. So it's 50 divided by 1, which is 50 kilometer per hour. This is for the first hour. For the third hour, so the third hour is starting at like from 2 to 3. So here's the third hour. It covered from 50 kilometers to 150 kilometers. So it covered 100 kilometers in 1 hour. So it's going to be 100 divided by 1, which is 100 kilometer per hour. In question C, he's saying what happened during the second hour of the journey. So the second hour here, he just took a rest. So he stayed here without any movement. In question 2 here, guys, Keisha leaves home at 7 a.m. She walks 3 kilometers in the first half hour, and then she stops at a cafe for 30 minutes to eat her breakfast. She then walks the last 5 kilometers to work, arriving at 9 a.m. Draw a travel graph to show this information. So first I will just draw the time graph here, the travel graph, 7 a.m., 7:30 until 10 a.m. And here the distance in kilometers, I just made it 1, 2, 3 until 9. So here she leaves home at 7 a.m. So I will start at 7 a.m. here. And then she walks 3 kilometers in the first half hour. So first half hour she walked 3 kilometers. So from 7 to 7:30 she covered 3 kilometers. So here, and then I will connect it with a line. After that, she stopped at a cafe for 30 minutes to eat her breakfast. So from 7:30 to 8 a.m. So she stayed here to have her breakfast. And after that, she then walks at the last 5 kilometers to work, arriving at 9. So at 9, I will walk 5 more kilometers. So 5 plus 3, it's going to be 8. So the total distance is 8 kilometers here, and she arriving at 9 a.m. And then I will just draw a line. Then he said here, find Keisha's average speed during the first stage of her journey. So the average speed, as you remember, it's the total distance over total time. So the total distance is 3 kilometers in half an hour. So 3 divided half, which is going to be 6 kilometers per hour. And for question C, find Keisha's average speed during the last stage of her journey. So it's gonna be from 8 to 9, so it's only 1 hour, and she covered 5 kilometers in this 1 hour. So it's gonna be 5 divided by 1, which is 5 kilometers per hour. Question 3 here, he said that the travel graph shows information about Aisha's shopping trip. Find Aisha's average speed. This question A. On the way to the shop. So in the way to the shop, she covers 12 kilometers in 45 minutes. And 45 minutes, as you know, that it's 3/4 of an hour, which is 0.75 an hour. So here it's 12 divided by 0.75, which is going to be 16 kilometers per hour. And the second question here is on her way home. In way back home, she just made it in 15 minutes from 90 to 105. It's 15 minutes. So she traveled 12 kilometers in 15 minutes. So I will divide 12 by quarter, which is 0.25, because 15 minutes is quarter an hour. So 12 divided 0.25, it's 48 kilometers per hour. And after that, the next question here, it's how long did Aisha spend shopping? So here it's she spent here from 45 minutes, because here's 45 to 90, it's 45 minutes. So she stayed there for 45 minutes, which equal to 3/4 an hour, or 0.75 hour. Okay, so let's go for looking for patterns homework. It's gonna be workbook page 85. So here in the first question, for each of these patterns, I need to write down the number of dots in the fifth pattern, the number of dots in the 50th pattern, and the rule connecting the pattern number and the number of dots. So I will start with question A here. So question A here, for the first pattern, it has 2 dots. The second pattern is 4 dots, third pattern is 6, fourth is 8. So of course the fifth is going to be 10. So I'm adding here 2, 2, 2, and then I will add the last 2 here. It's 10 dots. 50th pattern. So first, before I got the 50th pattern, I have to get the rule connecting the pattern number. So the number of dots here, to get the number of dots, of course you can see that I'm multiplying by 2 every time. 1 times 2 equals 2, 2 times 2 equals 4, 3 times 2 equals 6, 4 times 2 equals 8. So the pattern number, if I multiply it by 2, it's going to be the number of dots. So right now it's very easy just to get the 50th pattern. So 50th pattern, I will multiply it by 2, so it's going to be 100 dots. Let's go for B. Here is the pattern number 1. So the number of dots is 5, 2, 6, 3, 7, 4, 8. If you look here, you will find out I'm just trying to find the pattern with you. I will just try here. I can see that the pattern number is increasing with the number of dots. So I will multiply. I will try to multiply. 1 times 5 equals 5. So let's go for the second pattern. 2 times 5 equals 10. And here's 6. So it's wrong. I will not multiply. So let's try addition. 1 plus 4 equals 5. 2 plus 4 equals 6. Yes, I'm right. 3 plus 4 equals 7. Yes, 100% sure. So the rule here, I'm just getting the first one here, the number of dots in the fifth pattern. I'm just adding 1 to the 8 is going to be 9. So, or to add 4 to the pattern number, which is 5 plus 4 equals 9 dots. And get the rule connecting the pattern number and the number of dots. It means that I'm adding 4 to the pattern number to get the number of dots. So right now it's very easy to get the 50th pattern. So for the 50th pattern, I'm adding 4 to it, so it's gonna be 54 dots in the 50th pattern. For question C, 1 became 0, like 1, 0, or here let's get the fifth pattern first. So 0, 2, 4, 6, of course is gonna be 8. So CI here, the fifth pattern has 8 dots. And then I need to get the rule connecting the pattern number and the number of dots. 1 became 0. So let's try to subtract 0. Subtract 1. 1 minus 1 equals 0. 2 minus 1 equals 1. And here's 2. So of course I'm not subtracting. So what can I do here? It's a mixture, of course, of addition and multiplication. So let's try to multiply like 1 times 2 and then subtract 2. Like 2 times the pattern number minus 2. Let's try that here. 2 times 1 equals 2. To reach 0, I'm subtracting 2. So 2 times 1 equals 2 minus 2 equals 0. 2 times 2 equals 4 minus 2 equals 2. Yes, I'm right. So let's go and make sure of that. 3 times 2 equals 6 minus 2 equals 4. Perfect. 4 times 2 equals 8 minus 2 equals 6. So this is then the rule connecting the pattern number and the number of dots. So the number of dots equals 2 times the pattern number minus 2. So if I'm asking about the 50th pattern, so I will multiply it by 2. So it's going to be 2 times 50, which is 100. Minus 2 is going to be 98 dots. Okay, let's go for question 2. Write down the number of squares in each of these patterns. So I will just make a table to make it easy. So in the first pattern, it was 1 square. In the second pattern, it was 5 squares. The third is going to be 9. So I wrote down each of these patterns, right, the number of squares in each of these patterns. And the next pattern in the sequence, so here it's 1, 5, 9. I'm adding 4 every time, so I will add 4 in the last one here. 9 plus 4 equals 13. So this is the number of squares in the fourth pattern. Or okay, so here he needs me to get the 20th pattern in the sequence. So it's very easy. But first, we need to write down the rule connecting the pattern number and the number of squares to make it easy for ourselves. So the number of patterns. Look here, I'm just trying. 1 became 1 as it is. So, of course, I'm not multiplying by 1 or not adding anything. So, it's a mixture of multiplication and subtraction or addition. Let's try it. So, I will multiply by 2. So, 1 times 2 equals 2. To reach 1, I am subtracting 1. So, 1 times 2 equals 2 minus 1 equals 1. 2 times 2 equals 4 minus 1 equals 3. So, this is not 3. It's wrong. So, I have to change it. 3 times 1 equals 3 minus 2 equals 1. 3 times 2 equals 6 minus 2 equals 4. So that's not it. This is not the one, the rule connecting the pattern number and the number of squares. So let's try again. 4 times 1 equals 4 minus 3 equals 1. 4 times 2 equals 8 minus 3 equals 5. 4 times 3 equals 12 minus 3 equals 9. I'm right. So that's the rule is the number of squares equals 4 times the pattern number minus 3. Then it's very easy right now to get the 20th pattern in the sequence, the number of squares in the 20th pattern. So I will multiply 4 times 20. I will multiply 4 times 20, which is going to be 80. And 80 minus 3, which is going to be 77 squares. It's very easy and very simple. Okay, so let's go for the number sequence, workbook page 86. So first of all, I need to write down the next two terms in each of the sequences. Here, 7, 11, 15, I'm adding 4 each time, so 7 plus 4 equals 11, 11 plus 4 equals 15, 15 plus 4 equals 19, 19 plus 4 equals 23. So to get the next two terms, I have to add 4 and 4. So 23 plus 4 equals 27, and 27 plus 4 equals 31. Okay, so let's go for the second one here. 4 plus 3 equals 7. 7 plus 3 equals 10. Yes, I'm adding 3 every time. So 16 plus 3 equals 19, and 19 plus 3 equals 22. Here in letter E, it's 30. Minus 2 equals 28. Minus 2 equals 26. Minus 2 equals 24. So I'm subtracting 2 every time. 22 minus 2 equals 20. And 20 minus 2 equals 18. And the letter G, 14 minus 3 equals 11. 11 minus 3 equals 8. 8 minus 3 equals 5, and 5 minus 3 equals 2. And then I will subtract 3 every time, so 2 minus 3 equals negative 1. And negative 1 minus 3 is going to be negative 4. Here, question I, it's negative 30 became negative 26. It means I'm adding 4. I'm adding 4 here because the number is getting bigger. So negative 30 became negative 26. Negative 26 plus 4 equals negative 22. Plus 4 equals negative 18. Plus 4 equals negative 14. So it's going to be plus 4 equals negative 10. And then plus 4 equals negative 6. And question 2 here, he's saying for each of the sequence in question 1 here, write down the term-to-term rule. We answered that together. So here I'm adding 4 in the first one, and the second one I'm adding 3, and the third one I'm subtracting 2, and the fourth one I'm subtracting 3, and the last one I'm adding 4. And after that, I need to get the 10th term. So the only way to get that is, or not the only way, the easiest way to get that is just to apply the nth term rule. If you remember, the nth term rule is a plus n minus 1 times d. This is the nth term rule. So I need to get the 10th term, so I will remove n and put 10. And as you remember that a is the first term of the sequence and d is the difference between the terms. So here let's apply it for the first one. The first term is 7, so I will just put it instead of a, I will substitute in a 7. And here it's the 10th term and the difference is 4. So if you just calculated that, it's going to be equals to 43. So the 10th term in this sequence is 43. And here the same thing goes for question C. So the first term is 4, so I will put it 4, and the 10th term I need to calculate it, and the difference between terms is 3. So when you calculate that, you'll find out it's 31. And after that, in question E, the first term is 30, so I will apply it, and 10 minus 1 times negative 2, because here I'm subtracting 2 every time. So the difference is negative 2. When you just calculate that, you will find out it's 12. So the 10th term in this sequence is 12. And here in question G, it's the first term is 14, and the 10th term I need to calculate it. And here the difference between the terms is negative 3. So when you calculate that, you'll find out it's negative 13. And the last pattern here for you, the first term is -30, and the difference between terms is 4, and I need to calculate the 10th term. So when you calculate that again, you will find out that it's 6. Okay, so let's go for question 3. Find the missing numbers in these sequences. So here 62 and the number, 72, 77 and the number, and then 87. So the only way to get the difference between numbers is these two digits, or these two numbers, I'm sorry. So 72, 77, so it means that I'm adding 5 every time. So let's try that. 62 plus 5 equals 67, and then plus 5 equals 72. Yes, I'm correct. So I'm adding 5. So the first term here in the first square is 67. And here after that, 77 plus 5 equals 82. So the missing terms here is 67 and 82. Here in question C, it's 8 became 15, and then here 36 became 43. So I think that we are adding 7 to the sequence. So 8 plus 7 equals 15, 15 plus 7 equals 22, and 22 plus 7 equals 29. And to make sure, 29 plus 7 equals to 36. So let's go for question 4. Question 4 here, he needs me to write down the next two terms in each of these sequences. 2 became 3, like I'm adding 1, then adding 2, then 3, then 4. So I'm adding 1, 2, 3, 4. So after that, I'm adding 5. So 12 plus 5 equals 17. And after that, 17 plus 6 equals to 23. Here, 1000 became 100, then 10, then 1. Obviously, it's dividing by 10. I'm removing 0 every time, so I'm dividing by 10. So here, 0.1 divided by 10 is going to be 0.01. And after that, it's going to be 0.001. Here, it's a very famous sequence. It's called Fibonacci sequence. But leave the name alone right now and look at it here. 2, I'm adding 1 is going to be 3. I'm adding 2 is going to be 5. I'm adding 3 and then 5. Oh, it's not working with sequence. So if you looked here, you'll find out if you added the first two numbers in the sequence, it's gonna be 5. And after that, 3 plus 5 equals 8. And after that, 5 plus 8 equals 13. So 8 plus 13 equals to 21. And 21 plus 13 equals to 34. So I'm adding every two sequences, every two terms in the sequence to get the third one. Okay, and after that, add the second and third to get the fourth, add the third and fourth to get the fifth, and so on. And for question G, 14 minus 3 equals 11. After that, minus 3 minus 3 minus 3. So every time I'm subtracting 3. So 2 minus 3 equals -1, and -1 minus 3 equals -4. It's very easy. Here, -20 became -19, so it means I added 1, then added 2, then added 3, then added 4. So of course I will add 5, so it's going to be -5, and after that I will add 6, which is going to be 1. Question 5, we answered it we answered something like it in the student's book. Here, these cards can be used to make two sequences, each with 6 terms. The term-to-term rule for one of the sequences add 7. So I need to find the term-to-term rule for the other sequence. So the sequence is add 7. The term-to-term rule is add 7. So I'm checking. So I will start with 38. Can I add 7 to 38? Yes, of course. It's going to be 45. But is there a card for 45 here? No, so it's not 38. I will not use 38 in this sequence. Let's try here with 43. 43 plus 7 is going to be 50. Yes, I have another card to call with the number 50. Type 50 plus 7 is going to be 57. There is no 57 here. So let's get back. Maybe this is the last term in the sequence. So 50 minus 7 is going to be 43. Minus 7 is going to be 36. Minus 7 is going to be 29. And then 22, then 15. So this is the sequence. So the second sequence is going to be formed with the other numbers. So I just wrote down the numbers here in order. I found out that there are 13, 18, 23, 28, 33, and 38. Obviously, I'm adding 5 every time. So the term rule is just to add 5. Okay, so let's go for the functions. It's workbook page 87. So here are the questions. So copy and complete these mapping diagrams. It's very easy and very simple. So here he giving me the number and I want to put it inside the function, or put it inside the function machine just to get the output. So here's the input and here's the output. 1 times 2 equals 2 plus 3 equals 5. 2 times 2 equals 4 plus 3 equals to 7. And 3 times 2 equals 6 plus 3 equals to 9. And 4 times 2 equals 8 plus 3 equals 11. 5 times 2 equals 10 plus 3 equals to 13. So this is the answer. It's very easy and very simple. Yeah. So let's go for the second question here. 10 times 3 equals 30, minus 1 equals 29. 11 times 3 equals 33, minus 1 equals 32. 12 times 3 equals to 36, minus 1 equals to 35. 13 times 3 equals to 39. 39 minus 1 equals to 38. And 14 times 3 equals to 42, minus 1 equals to 41. In question 3 here, it's very easy and very simple also. Here 7 minus 5 equals 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. Then 8 minus 5 equals 3 times 2 equals to 6. After that, 9 minus 5 equals to 4 times 2 equals to 8. Then 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 times 2 equals 10. 11 minus 5 equals 6 times 2 equals to 12. Then in question 4, 0 times 4 equals 0 minus 9 equals negative 9. 1 times 4 equals 4 minus 9 equals to negative 5. Then 2 times 4 equals 8 minus 9 equals to negative 1. 3 times 4 equals 12 minus 9 equals 3. Then 4 times 4 equals 16 minus 9 equals to 7. Then here, sometimes you will find in question 5 here, sometimes you will see its input is missing, and sometimes you will find the output is missing. So if the output is missing, it's very easy and very simple. You are just walking the inverse way. You are just making the inverse operation, because you're moving in the inverse direction. So here, for example, the first one, 46, I will just add 4, not subtract 4. I will add 4 because I'm walking in the inverse way. So it's going to be 50, and then divided 5. 50 divided 5 is going to be 10. So the answer for the first one here is 10. Then I will walk normally here. 5 times 5 equals 25, minus 4 equals to 21. Then 3 times 5 equals 15, minus 4 equals 11. Easy and simple. Here is the inverse direction. I will walk in the inverse direction, so I will make the inverse operations. So 36 plus 4 equals to 40. 40 divided by 5 is going to be 8. And then here the same thing goes for 41. Plus 4 equals to 45. Divided by 5 is going to be 9. Same goes for question 6. Sometimes you will find out the input is missing and the output is missing. So here, 10 divided 2, it's 5. 5 plus 6, it's 11. Easy. Here, I will walk in the inverse way. So 8 minus 6 is going to be 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So here, it's going to be 4. And here, 6 divided 2 is going to be 3. 3 plus 6 equals 9. Then 15 minus 6 is going to be 9. Minus 6, I'm sorry, 15 minus 6. It's going to be 15 minus 6 is going to be 9. 9 times 2, it's going to be 18. And if you want to make sure of your answer, you just can get this number in the input and put it in the machine again and check if 15 is out, so it's going to be correct. So 18 divided 9 is 9. 18 divided 2 is 9. 9 plus 6 is going to be 15. So I'm correct. And after that, 14 divided 2 is going to be 7. 7 plus 6 equals 13. And that's it. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you very much for listening, and have a wonderful day.